I was going to talk about matchups today because yesterday I was playing Gold Lewis. He's brand new, so I was running around, and as you know, I play my viewers, and I play a lot of the same people all the time. I have a lot of experience against them, and they have a lot of experience against me. One thing that was pretty funny is as I was playing yesterday, this happened a couple of times. People in the chat were like, dude, why am I struggling harder against your Gold Lewis, your brand new character, than I do against your Soul? I don't understand. When you think about matchups in fighting games, there's a few things that you should think about, right? One, there's the character matchup. Now, obviously, this character's brand new, and so nobody knows really what he does, right? He's just kind of jumping around the screen, flailing in this behemoth typhoon, and nobody knows what the fuck he's doing. He's just swinging this thing. I don't know. One of these is an overhead or something. One's a low. I don't know what's going on. And that's one important aspect of it. And even within character matchups, there's a couple of things to consider. You might really struggle in some character matchups that your character does not struggle in. There are some people who, when they talk about matchups, they say, I think that my character probably does well in the matchup, but personally, it's tough for my playstyle. Or there could be a character that is really good against your character, but it fits into a matchup that you like playing. So you're like, oh no, I don't actually think it's that bad. I love playing against it. For me, I usually do not do well against characters that are heavy zoners. Mostly because the archetypes I pick tend not to be that good against zoners. They tend to be kind of balanced characters where they either keep out characters who are faster than them and more rushdown, and they go in against zoners, right? Now, Guilty Gear is a little different. Soul's kind of, more focused on getting in, but in most games, that's kind of how it goes. So even if my character is good against them, I might do bad against them because it's the playstyle that I don't like fighting against. The second thing is the player matchup. Now, this is something that if you've watched my stream for a long time, you will notice. Like I said, I play the same people every day on stream. I fight them all the time. And as I play them over time, right, maybe in the beginning, it was very lopsided one way or the other. Maybe when I first played them, I was beating them a lot. And so I was playing them and I 3-0'd them. And then maybe the second time they got around, the third time they got a game, and then 2 games. And then eventually a lot of the people that I play basically every day or, every week, multiple times, they do better and better and better, right? Because now it's not just about fighting the character. It's also that they're fighting me all the time. So they know as a player what my habits are, what my tendencies are, when I like to press. You can see them not only improving, they're learning to fight against Soul, but they're also experienced against me personally, right? And an important thing to note in fighting games, most of the time, you think a lot about your losses, correct? So when you play and you lose, you're like, man, I need to really sit and think about what I'm supposed to do in this matchup or that matchup or this matchup. When you win, you tend not to think as much about losses or decision making. You tend to think about specific problems. So I did this wrong and I dropped this and I dropped that, but it's fine, right? When you fight against someone a lot, inevitably you will do better against them because you're more experienced against their playstyle. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if some of the people in my lobby have an easier time against me than they do with people that are on their floor. They're fighting some floor 8 Soul player, and they're like, this motherfucker got hands. I play Sajam, I know what he's gonna do, no problem. I play against this floor 8 Soul, this motherfucker's built different. It's not only just about the character matchup, it's about the player matchup, right? And who you match up well against. Now, that's not to say experience is the only thing that matters here. Some player matchups are just lopsided to begin with, much like character matchups where some characters or some playstyles just don't they don't gel with you. Some players are just really anti your playstyle, or maybe very favorable for your playstyle. Maybe the way they think and play is a natural counter to you, or you naturally counter them in the way you like to play, right? Someone like Marn. Marn is a great example over the last weekend where Marn was his playstyle is so fast and so frantic and so overwhelming, and a lot of people really struggle against him. Even if other Giovanna players might not give them issues, his personal playstyle, especially in tournament, completely dunks on people. It is very difficult to deal with. So, it's important to understand that besides just this is my character versus that character, there's a lot of things that goes on. It's not so easy as, just 6 p.m., bro. There's a lot of complex things that you have to consider when thinking about matchups. Some players, you can categorize them and say, this is their playstyle, this is what they like to do, this is what I should look for. I think that's an important thing to do, but if it's someone you play all the time, it's when you fight against, I don't know, Giovanna, you're like, okay, this is what I'm looking for in the match. I should watch for this. I should look for this. You have kind of a mental checklist, and you don't have to think about it too much. Your brain just kind of is this is what I'm You know, for I'm Nasty, what up?
Sajam FS, what's your favorite fighting game?
Dungeons and Dragons. Listen. I was in Lotus's chat and someone in there was like, oh, this guy Sajam plays Soul. And he like went to say something about me playing Soul. He was like a DBFZ name. And I was like, bro, I've been playing Soul since before you knew what a fighting game was. You lil bussy. You're typing in this chat adding me. You didn't even know what a fighting game was until you were mashing auto combo and super dash. I don't even want to hear it. You don't even live in the same timeline as I do. You've never had to complain about Soul's 2D. You only know a reality where you complain about his /. You can actually take your head, stick it in your own ass, and go fuck yourself. But instead I was like, yeah, I play Soul. Yeah, he's fun. I like Soul. What's wrong with Soul?